Good morning, everyone. Yeah, that was rubbish. Let's try it again. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, much better. How are you, Mr. Khan? And have you managed to get them into pairs yet? Ah, brilliant. Let me start by introducing myself. My name is Steve McCurry. I'm a photojournalist and I'm famous for taking photographs like the Afghan girl. Anyway, you'll get a chance to hear about me later on. Let's start by talking about you. Now, a few lessons back, you guys got to do some presentations in pairs, and some of your presentations absolutely rocked. Whilst some of your presentations kinda... But anyway, you get a chance to do some more. But this time, you get to use your iPad and some fancy apps. We all love fancy apps. So this time, you get a chance to work with a different partner, pick a different artist, and the best thing is, he can be dead, he doesn't have to be contemporary, and you get to use some iPad technology to produce something a lot more professional. And the best thing is, we get to keep these presentations because they're all digital, and you can look back on them at the end of the year. Happy days! Now, the app that I use to create my talking face is an app called Morpho. You can see it on the board to your right, or my left. Anyway, I'm going to be using different apps during this presentation so you can see how they can be combined together to create something quite fancy. All of the different apps allow you to save videos and pictures to your camera roll, which you can then put together like I did in iMovie.
Oh, shut up, will you? You just go on and on and on and on and on. I never get a word in edgeways when you're talking. Anyway, I'm the Afghan girl. I'm the important one. He took a photograph of me whilst I was in a refugee camp in Pakistan. When the Russians invaded my country, Afghanistan, I had to cross the border and escape. I was well upset, and this guy came along with his camera and took a photograph of me. And before I knew it, I was on the front cover of the National Geographic and everyone wanted my autograph. Oh, I'm a star. I always wanted to be famous. Me mammy would be so proud. If I knew where she was. I lost both me mum and me dad. I was on my own for so long. Anyway, I'm going to hand you over to my friend Mike. He's a reporter. And he's going to tell you a little bit about me, where I was born, and, the stuff like that. I hope you have fun. See you later.
Hey, it's Mike here from the Really Interesting News channel. I'm going to talk to you about the Afghan girl, so let's start where it all began. Let's have a look at Afghanistan, or officially known as the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan. Afghanistan is located in South Asia, and it's home to approximately 31 million people, which makes it the 42nd most populated place in the world. It's bordered by several countries. Pakistan, this is where the Afghan girl actually was photographed. China, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, and in Iran. So, the Afghan girl was living around about here in Afghanistan, and during the time when the Russian invasion occurred, she had to move across the border into Pakistan. This is where she was photographed by our friend Steve McCurry. This is the refugee camp in Pakistan, where Steve McCurry photographed the Afghan girl in 1984 using his Nikon camera. As you can see, it really is not a very nice place, and all the people that had to come here were extremely poor, malnourished, and living in really awful conditions. Many of the people, including this guy here, were severely wounded, ill, and dying. It really was a very sad state of affairs. So here we have the portrait of the Afghan girl. Well, what makes it so special? Well, first of all, it's those eyes. We can really see the emotion coming across. The worry, the fear, the anxiety, the uncertainty of whether she'll ever see her family again. Next, it's the viewpoint. The viewpoint has been chosen very carefully by Steve McCurry. He's made sure that the girl is making eye contact with the viewer. She's looking directly into the lens. This really connects the viewer with the subject. And then finally, it's the use of complementary colours. Red and green are opposite each other on the colour wheel. This makes them contrast. And if colours contrast, they stand out from one another. This is why those amazing green eyes are drawing so much attention. And it's why this picture really has that impact. So all of these characteristics come together to produce probably one of the most famous portraits ever taken.
Ooh, I know it's a sad story, but it was okay in the end, because 17 years later they found me again and I was 30 years old. I'd returned back to where I used to live and I had children, so everything turned out hunky-dory. It's your turn now. You need to pick an artist, pick some of their work. It can be a painter, photographer, whatever you want. Do a presentation, use some cool apps and make it fun and exciting. Go on then, what are you waiting for?